Shalom, shalom, family. It's the Hebrew Life again. I'm Base Jerusalem, and I'm back with another lesson. We're going to call this one Sleepaway Camps. Sleepaway Camps. I'm going to wait for everybody to get in the room, somebody to get in the room. Sleepaway Camps, family. We're gonna kill these camp lives today, man. You know, I've been looking around in Israel, and you know, I see that a lot of these, you know, these camp lives have been causing brothers to stir away from the truth. Has been causing brothers to not want to be in the truth. You know, a lot of these camps, they're preaching false doctrine. They preaching man-made doctrines. You know, and it has nothing to do with the law of the Most High. And when you put man under man-made laws, you know, some people break away and some people stay. But you know, with them having the numbers they got and them having the allies they have, and there's so many camps being out there. When you type in Hebrew Israelites on YouTube or Google, these are the first people you see. These people who are in these One West camps, like, and a lot of these brothers stem from a branch that starts with Abba Givens or Abba Bibbins, and this is where you get the camps like ISUPK and IUIC and so many other camps out there. Those are just a few to name off. But I want to add that, you know, a lot of these brothers in these camps are strong brothers. A lot of these sisters in these camps are strong sisters. They're just being misled by bad leadership. And I'm going to prove that today. I'm going to prove that, you know, their lies that they get on the street corners and preach is really messing up, you know, the name of Israel, is really, you know, is really making a problem in Israel, is giving us a bad reputation. They're trying to paint us as a hate group and stuff like that, when really we just serve the Most High. You know, they don't want to deem the Christians as a hate group, or the Jehovah's Witness as a hate group, or any other so-called religious group that believes in the Holy Scriptures. But, you know, I believe a lot of these brothers on the street corners and inside these organizations are paid agents, you know, brothers who've been hired by the government, paid a certain amount of money to keep up the ruckus, to keep up the foolery within these Hebrew Israelite organizations. Brothers like Tazadaki, who just went down for stealing money from the people. When brothers get in these positions of power and they're unclean and they're unrighteous, they mislead the people, they take their money, and they lead the sheep straight off the cliff, as the scriptures say. They bad shepherds. Where should I start? Well, we all know about, you know, the first lie in these camps. Esau is the white man. Now, you know, they use scriptures about his skin being red and, you know, him being hairy, and they use these distinctions to try to say that Esau, which is a Hebrew Edomite who comes out of Isaac and Rebecca, is, you know what I'm saying, the white man we see today. And I'm going to prove that these people we see today are not, you know what I'm saying, Edomites, but they actually are Romans and Grecians. Get the camera right. I'm going to prove that. We're going to prove that. Get the camera right, fam. We gonna prove that. So I keep my head in the right posture. Okay. Try to keep this light out the video. All right, that'll do. Yeah, Hebrew what? Okay. If that's so, then we gotta go to Job. I mean, we gotta go to Joel. We know that Esau was prophesied to be wiped out in Obadiah. Now, before that, you know what I'm saying, it speaks about what went on in Israel and how we were taken by another nation and sold. But the camps, they're not going to read this to you. They're just going to keep having you feel like Esau is the white man. Another thing, they said Jacob was cooking red pottage. That couldn't be true. We're going to prove it. Because after the flood, when the Most High commanded us that we could eat flesh, he told us we couldn't eat flesh with the blood in it because there's life within the blood. So these laws were passed down to Noah, down from Noah to all of the sons of his. So every son of Noah knew not to eat raw meat. The reason why you see Grecians and Romans eating raw meat because they come from a barbaric culture in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. But these camps I have think that Esau comes from the Caucasus Mountains in Georgia, Russia, when the scriptures actually tell you come from Mount Seir, which is in the so-called Middle East in Arabia, in modern day Saudi Arabia, East Saudi Arabia, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna show you a picture of lentils. See, because we all know in the black community, when they call people red, they're not normally white. They're normally light-skinned or of a lighter skin pigmentation. Us in the so-called black community, we never call white people red. We always call red people light-skinned, or we either seen them as Indians from the football team. You know, the famous football team, the Redskins. So they know who have red skin and who have black skin. They know the Gentile, the Romans and the Grecians are not Esau. Esau mixed in with some of them Gentiles, yes, he had. But you can't sit on a street corner and every white man, every so-called Caucasian, a Roman, a Grecian that walk past, you want to say, oh, that's an Edomite, that's my brother. You know, that's false teaching. And that's really creating racism. So this is why people tune in to see these fools on YouTube, because they're appalled to see them out of the scriptures, saying they're a child of God, but they totally have the scriptures wrong, and they just creating this race bait thing, attacking brothers. You know what I'm saying? Who's with a woman interracially. You know, the brother might not know. You know what I'm saying? To stay within the tribe at the time. Whoever the Most High run that brother into, that's the Most High revealed to him what he need to do within that situation. But for you to just be attacking people on the street corners, man, come on, it's just a show. A lot of these brothers are paid agents, getting paid. I already proved that Issachar and Judah both come from Leah. So if Issachar comes from Leah and Judah comes from Leah, how can one be a Mexican and one be an African American? This is another camp lie. We're gonna kill this Esau thing first. Pick me up. Just looking at I'm just looking at the board right now. We're gonna go to Joel though. Joel 3, family. Joel 3. The killer's Esau lie. Because the problem is brothers don't read. They have other brothers tell them the scriptures, and you know, that's what they believe happened. They don't actually do their own research. The scriptures say, study to show thyself approved. You can't be taking the word of man. The scriptures say, trust no man. So how is you out here trusting man, just trusting his word, not even going and researching to see if this brother is actually saying the truth? And then these brothers be so scared in these camps to actually challenge the leadership, scared to be demoted or be kicked out the crew. So they don't say anything, knowing that certain things don't add up within the scriptures. Certain things don't add up within the 12 tribe chart. Am I saying the 12 tribe chart is totally false? No, I'm not. I'm saying that you can't tell these brothers which tribe they're in. Is these Negro Mexicans and Negro Puerto Ricans and all these different brothers Hebrew Israelites? Yes, they are. But you cannot say which tribe they are in. That's Yeshua's job to come back and put us in our proper tribes. And since we in Isaiah right now, I'm going to read Isaiah 11:11 to seal off that 12 tribe thing before I get into Esau. We read Isaiah 11:11, it says, it shall come to pass. In that day, the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left in Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, which is Ethiopia, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. We're going to stop right there. See, they're not going to read these scriptures in the camp, because they know once you read Isaiah 11:11, it's over with. If I just read the Most High saying he's going to pick up his people from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, which is in Ethiopia, the islands of the sea. None of these places is on the 12 tribe chart. So you brothers out there, y'all got sleeping bags. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in sleeping bags, not understanding, not reading the scriptures. If you were to read this, you would bring this to them, and they would try to, there's no way they can twist this. It says Yeshua is coming a second time to gather the people from the four corners of the earth. From the four corners of the earth. This tribe chart is only set on the Western Hemisphere. I think a lot of brothers need to take geography classes or something like that, because they can't see that this chart is set on the Western Hemisphere, and the Most High said he scattered Israel and Judah to the four corners of the earth. Now back to this Esau, because I'm tired of brothers sitting on the street corners, and every Gentile that walk past, they want to call him Esau. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These are the main brothers they're going to put on the TVs and the news channels and say this is a cult. Let's get to it. Joel. Then we're going to go into Obadiah. Sleepaway camps. Man, this is a horror movie out here, man. How they killing brothers' spirits out here, man. You think you can't spiritually kill somebody? These brothers are sick. These brothers collecting money. That woman died overseas in the IUIC camp in London. And don't you know that the leaders, they collecting money for her death? But they ain't even figured out the investigation. There's so many testimonies from brothers out of ISUPK and IUIC who have been done wrong. Brothers who really believed in the Most High, who just gave it up. Been done so wrong by Israelites, they don't even want to think about an Israelite. Now when an Israelite is mentioned, we the laughing stock now because of these clowns who get on the camera all the time without understanding. Let's go into it. Joel chapter 3. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them for my heritage, for my people, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and a girl for wine, that they may drink. We already know the president of Ghana just came out and admitted that they were selling our people for alcohol and for prostitutes. They just apologized. This is well documented. So I don't want to hear this ain't true. This straight out the scriptures. The Most High's words ain't gonna come back void. It says, yeah, what do you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? These are two African nations that has something to do with the selling of our people. It says, all the coast of Philistine, will you render me a recompense? If you recompense me swiftly, I will speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Listen closely. I want everybody to listen closely. It says, because you have taken my silver and my gold and carried it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that they might remove them far from their borders. It didn't say he sold him to Esau. It said he sold them to the Grecians and the Romans. We got the Apocrypha right here. We're going to go into it. First, let me kill this with the regular scriptures. Then we're going to go into the hidden, which the Apocrypha means. The hidden was the books they tried to hide. We're going to get into the history of Rome and the Grecians, the Macedonians, the things they don't want you to know, how they took over the world, how the Most High gave them the chance. The Gentile was the last to rule the earth. First, it was the Africans, the Shemites, which we had our rule in. Now, it's the Gentiles' rule. And you see what's going on, because they the most alienated from the Most High. Well, let's continue to read. It says, behold, I will raise them out. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the places where you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles and prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near and come up. Now, when brothers read this on the street corner, they take it out of context. We not going to rule over people like they ruled over us. What happened to us was a tragedy. Really. It was the curses of the Most High. They going to have their punishment, but it ain't going to be like ours, because the Most High, he chastised who he loves. He said he's sending these people far off who participated in this. So this ain't every white man that walked past you. It was a certain group of Gentiles and a certain group of Africans that participated in this. This doesn't exclude the whole Gentile nation. This doesn't exclude the whole African nation. So you brothers need to stop hating on people because they're Africans. When the Most High told us don't hate the Egyptians, for we was a stranger in their land and they brought us in. He said, are you not like the Ethiopians unto me? He said, I put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians. So the Most High has worked through the Africans. The Most High has worked through the Gentiles, as you see with Cornelius and Acts. But they'll tell you Cornelius is a black man, an Israelite, a Gentile. They'll tell you a Gentile is an Israelite who lives in Gentile land and forgot he's an Israelite. True, but there's also a true origin of Gentiles from Japhet in Genesis in the table of origins of the people coming off the boat with Noah. So there was a brother named Japhet, and God called them the Gentiles. This is way before Israel was created and way before Israel got scattered into Europe. So I don't want to hear nothing about when they say Gentiles, they're just talking about the Israelites who's lost. The scriptures say when Paul was talking to the so-called Gentiles, the black brothers and sisters who was lost in them cultures, they said the real Gentiles is right on the side listening and getting the truth. How do you think the Byzantine Empire and all these, and Constantine and all these brothers and all these wicked Gentiles build up a false religion system without knowing the true religion system? Let's go to Obadiah, because we just read about the Most High saying what happened and who they were sold to. They were sold, let me read it again. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their borders. So we know why they sold us out of the Holy Land and got us up out of Africa, to remove us far from our borders so we cannot reign upon the earth again, so we cannot live in the Holy Land again and inhabit that power we once had. Let's go to Obadiah. And this sleepaway camp, man, I'm not playing today. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing today. We ain't got nobody in the room really right now, but it don't matter. When you get it, you're going to see it's gold. You mad about the picture? Hey, look, I don't got nothing to do with that. I used to watch IUIC. I'm calling it how it is. You know, Nate, all them brothers is wizards. There's so many brothers coming out that camp lately, exposing the system and how it's a kiss ass system, and they don't got nothing to do with the Most High. They gonna send their trolls and try to flag the video. It's all good though, man. We secure from the Most High. We gonna put the copyright on the thing. Ain't nothing being stopped. Let's go to Obadiah. Let's go to Obadiah and see what the Most High is telling Esau he's been cut off forever for. Let's see why. Because we know that, you know what I'm saying, that Esau and the Gentiles, the Romans and the Grecians, can't be the same people. Idumea is in the Middle East by Saudi Arabia and Arabia. The Caucasus Mountains is in Georgia, Russia. The Caucasus Mountains, peep game, they're called Caucasians. The Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, this is where they stem from. That's why they call them Caucasians. Now this can't be Esau, because Esau come out of the cleft of the rocks in Mount Seir. You could go look up Mount Seir and look at the structure of Mount Seir and look just like the White House. Now somewhere down the line, they alliance with each other and decided to rule the world together. But you can't say Esau and the Gentiles, the white man, which is a form of the Gentile, not even a full form of Japhet, which is one son of Japhet, probably two sons of Japhet with that skin pigmentation, because they were in the rocks. Just like Esau. This is why Esau is the Gentile or the Hebrews. He wanted to kick it with Ishmael. He wanted to kick it with the Caucasians, people who are alike mind. They said birds of a feather flock together. And you know they rock out with the eagle. We know that. Let's go to Obadiah, because Esau and the Gentiles, the Romans and the Grecians, can't be the same people. Yeah, they could give wives and give sons away, but they can't be the same nation. And then Esau can possibly be all the white man, because Esau's first wives was Ishmaelites and Africans. Those are dark race people. So somewhere down the line, there's some dark-skinned Edomites out there. People need to understand that. These people y'all call Ishmaelites overseas, a lot of these brothers is out the Turkish Empire. They come from India, different places, Pakistan. They the Gentiles. They whitewash the news and how you figure that everybody in the desert is that color when the original Arabians is black. The original Persians is black. Children of Abraham. Children of Ishmael. True children. The Hebrews was originally black, or of a lighter pigmentation. They wasn't dark like the Africans probably, but we wasn't the color of the Gentiles either. Let's go into it. It says, shall I not in that day? This Obadiah, you know Obadiah short is one chapter. It says, this verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty man, OT man, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Let's see why. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers, we just read who these strangers was, these Grecians who came and took us away. Let's keep reading. It says, in the day that the strangers carried away captives, his forces, his foreigners, and entered into the gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. Let's go back to Joel, because I think it just said cast lots. Let's go back to Joel. We got to hit the reverse button right fast, fam. Because I think the Most High just spoke about casting lots in Joel. See, but these brothers not going to read. It's right there in front of you. It's hidden in plain sight. But when you want to listen to other people give you the truth, this is what happened. You be misled by what's really going on. It says, let's read. It says, and they have cast, this is Joel chapter 3, and they have cast lots for my people. We're going to just stop right there because it just said they cast lots. It says, and cast lots, this back to Obadiah, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on that day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shalt thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity. So it's telling you what these Edomites was doing while these Romans and Grecians was coming in the land and casting lots upon us. They was helping them. They was helping them get us up out the land. So you can't say the people who took us on slave ships, which is the Romans and the Grecians, which it says in Ezekiel, they're sellers of people, and say that Esau is the same person over here walking past us, and he's the same person who watched us be sold and be took too. It don't make sense. Either he was watching us be took by the Romans, or he was the Romans and he was the Edomites watching us too. That don't make sense. He can't be two places at once. This nation of Edom. It says, nor shall lay hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shalt thou have stood in the crossway to cut those off of his that did escape. Neither shalt thou have delivered those up to of his that did remain in the day of distress. So they were delivering and cutting us off and giving us into the Romans and the Grecians. So how can Esau be the Romans and the Grecians when Esau is being cut off from the Most High forever for cutting us off, his brother, in a day when they came to get us? He didn't help. He didn't help us. He helped them. This is why he was cut off forever, because he has the same spirit of Cain, the one to kill his brother. This, you know what I'm saying? This is just plain as day. Let's go to another camp lie. If y'all got some camp lies out there, put them in the room. We're gonna do a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have fun with this. I seen some brothers arguing recently about the mark of the beast, the chip, saying that you had one brother saying that the chip is actually what it is something they gonna put in your hand or your head and tell you can't buy or sell unless you have it. Then you have another brother saying, "Oh, we already have the chip," but he's saying the chip is spiritual. Now I don't understand how you could buy and sell spiritually unless the demon is the dealer. But I don't understand how you can buy and sell spiritually. So we're gonna go to Revelations 13. We're gonna figure this out. The scriptures, Yeshua said, "He who believes on me," as the scripture has said, not as Johanna has said, not as Nate has said, or any other general. I don't see how these brothers is generals. These brothers ain't never been on the battlefield. Police officers and the gay people, we call them free case rape because they handing out free cases. They talking about they'll get their brother away to the system if he do something. I don't know, but everybody wants this church feeling. This is what draws people to these camps, IUIC and ISUPK, because they want they still living in church land. They still want to feel like they're in the Christian church. You know, Nate is the reverend or Johanna is the reverend. Then you got the deacons and the bishops and everybody under them, and they just want to be in the crowd clapping. They want to feel like there's some order to some things. When, you know what I'm saying, when they come into the Most High, they want to feel like, oh, well, my organization and, you know, my preacher, my pastor is better than yours. We have a better attire than yours. We have a better curriculum than yours. It's all competition. It's always about competition with black people. And that's how you know, that's the first time you know somebody's not truly woke. Because Yeshua didn't teach in no churches. Yeshua didn't have no purple and gold robes or no enlarged borders of fringes. which I'm gonna get into about these camps, and these are large borders out there looking like a WWF star, looking like a Power Ranger. The Most High ain't tell you had to do all of that. The Yeshua ain't tell you had to do all. They set the blueprint. It's already been set. But when people want to feel more and mightier about themselves or about their group, about their people, this is what you get. Shalom, JD. No, I don't feel. I mean, I don't address every group as a camp, brother. You know, I don't feel like all people who get together and congregate in the Most High's name are camps. I feel like certain things have to register you as a camp. Like you out there, you know what I'm saying? You hitting the street corners, you got all these organizations, like they tell these brothers they can't have dreads, but you know, Absalom and you know, and King Solomon, and a lot of brothers had hair who wasn't even Nazarites. They tell brothers it's cornrows. It's just shalom serving to y'all. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, with that being said, it's just a lot of BS going on. You know, a lot of lies you got to sift to before you get to the truth. Then they got the 12 tribe chart law, which I already went through and explained. But we're going to get into this RFID chip that they say is spiritual in these camps, when everybody know that it's going to come a time when you read the scripture where you can't buy or sell, they're going to label you like cattle. And if you ain't willing to be labeled like cattle and get something put into you so you can buy or sell and go through their system, then it's access denied. You can't come through their system. It says, let's read. And it says, we're going to start at verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image up to the beast, which had wound by a sword and did live. And they had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that many as would not worship the beast should be killed. So it says, and cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a mark. So whether you was in jail, or whether you out, they gonna ask for you to receive this mark and to make an image to the beast. We know this beast is the one world government system that they are currently trying to push towards. It says, cause every man, rich or poor, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. Let him who have wisdom count the number of the beast. Let's read this. For it is the number of man, and his number is 666. IUIC say no dreads. Man. But why? I don't understand why IUIC say you can't have dreads when Ezekiel had dreads. I already did a video over the dreads. Absalom had dreads. King Solomon had dreads. Samson had dreads. We call them lots though. So they want me to believe that they had a pair of clippers just waiting back in the days. But if I come in there with a straight afro, don't comb my hair, nothing, just come in there straight natural, they gonna tell me, oh, I'm not looking appropriate. See, they all about pushing you towards this beast I just read about. That's how they can end up on BET. Whenever did Yeshua or any of the prophets end up on BET, CNN? Really? In large numbers. But they don't read the scriptures though, because the Most High said he worked with small numbers. So when I seen all of them out there in large groups, I knew they was weak. Because the Most High worked with small numbers. The Most High would have said, look, you're going to have to send some of them back. They're going to think it's the numbers of the people that won them the war, not the power of the Most High. So we finna get into it again. Let me show y'all something right fast. Because they said the pot was bloody. Like I said earlier, after Noah got off the boat, you can read that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read, you know what I'm saying? First I'm gonna show you what lentils is. And show you that lentils are red, and it's not the pot being full of blood that makes it red. But actually, the pottage was red because when you look up lentils, the pottage is red. You see that red pottage? That's red. Brick red. This is why the pottage was red. The pottage wasn't red because they was eat Jacob like eating bloody meat, and Esau said, hey, let me get some of that. Let's go into some right fast. Let's go into some right fast. Y'all bear with me. Here it is right here. Genesis 9, verse, we're gonna start at verse 3. And this gonna kill the fact that everybody think that Jacob was outside cooking raw meat, and Esau said, hey, let me get some of that. No, I know you like to cook that raw meat, Jacob. You know what I'm saying? We gonna prove that it was against the law before Jacob was even born, before Abraham was even born, to even eat raw meat. This is why us as so-called black people, when we see raw meat and we go out to eat, we say we want ours done well done. That's why we love barbecue. So it was never in us to eat raw meat. So y'all, that's another lie they finna cut out right now. Let's see. The Most High said in Genesis chapter 9, verse 3, every moving thing that liveth be for meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, thou you shall not eat. Surely your blood of your lives will I require, at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of every man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whosoever shed of man's blood, by man's blood shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yah made he man. So this is the Most High giving Noah laws coming off the boat not to eat raw meat. So why would people think that Jacob was at the crib in Isaac's house cooking raw meat when the law had already been passed down not to eat raw meat because the life is in it? Come on now. Anybody got any camp lies out there, man? Y'all throw them in the room, man. Any camp lies? We slashing camp lies. We slashing camp lies. They said we can't have dreads. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that right fast. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that right fast. I want y'all to go to 2 Samuel 14 and 26 about this dreadlock thing. No, dreadlocks ain't, because Absalom, the Nazarite vows weren't even around when King David and Absalom, his son, was around. So no, you don't have to be a Nazarite to have dreads. Nazarites can't cut their hair. So this scripture I'm finna pull is talking about not letting your hair get too long. See, we all know that Absalom was killed not because he had dreadlocks, but because he let his hair get too long and it was heavy on him. See, cornrows can't get heavy on you, but dreadlocks can. And Absalom wasn't nowhere near Solomon was nowhere near a Nazarite. He said, my lots are bushy. I'm gonna go to it. But first, we're gonna go to 2 Samuel 14-26. They said we can't have dreads. We're gonna see about that. And have a brother cut his strength off, all because they want him to look appropriate. That's what it be about. You don't look appropriate. All right, 2 Samuel 14-26. We're gonna start at verse 25, fam. We're gonna start at verse 25. Yeah, don't cut your lots out. Don't cut your lots. I'm finna read this. They say anything, read them this. We're gonna start at verse 25. But in all Israel, there were none to be much praised as Absalom. Absalom was King David's son. For his beauty, from the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. The only blemish in him is he wanted to kill his father and take his role, just like Hashatan wanted to do. He wanted to take David's role because he felt like he was the people's champ, because the people said he should be king, so he felt like he was going to take it from his father. It says, and when he polled his hair, for it was every year at the end that he polled it, because his hair was heavy on him. Therefore he polled it, and he weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. So how could somebody throw they braids on the scale and weigh? They saying this man's hair was so long that he polled it. Yep. Let's go to another scripture to prove people had lots. We already know Samson had lots. That's why he lost his strength. He was commanded not to cut his hair at all. We reading about a man in 2 Samuel who had to cut his hair because it was too long, who's not under a Nazarite vow, who still has hair. Come on now. Come on now. Then we're going to go to the sons of Solomon. They're going to talk about lots again. Let's go to Songs of Solomon 5 and 11. Songs of Solomon 5 and 11. They say you can't have lots. They say you can't have lots. Let's read. It says, his head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. His locks are bushy and black as a raven? Come on now. They just said the man had locks. Ain't nobody braids bushy. Come on, man. We know what cornrows is. Camp, you killing all camp lives, man. Anybody got any more camp doctrine? I can't really think of nothing right now. Can't really think of nothing right now. We're going to go, we're going to prove that we're going to kill the 12 tribe chart one more time. I don't know if you brothers heard it the first time I read it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go to Isaiah 11:11 one more time. And then the priesthood is there, so they talking about the priesthood and all of this, man. Look, Yeshua, the priesthood died with Yeshua. We under the order of Melchizedek right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's all kind of false in what they say. We're going to go to they say in second address, you know what I'm saying, that we went What did you say, brother? You said, oh yeah, the fringes. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the fringes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I appreciate you saying that. Cause these brothers be out there with these outfits, man, and it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious because I don't know what they thinking. Like I don't know if they think the bigger they, but I do know what they think in the scripture. I'm finna read it. We gonna read exactly what they thinking. The scripture gonna tell you about these brothers with these large borders who put things on brothers and tell them to do things that they'll never do. Look at Johanna. Does it look like Johanna fastest? Come on, man. You can look at Nate. Nate look like a goat. Look like a dirty goat, man. Let's keep it 100, man. And all you brothers who want to defend them because you want to defend your pastor and your leader, knowing well there's hundreds of thousands of brothers who've been put out the camp illegitimately over some BS. They didn't, man, come on, man. They're the reason we got 3 dislikes in the room right now. We know there's a government power behind them. We know they're under a 501c3 plan. We know ain't no power in that 6-point star. That's the Star of Molech. There's no proof that that's the seal of David. I wouldn't want to be associated with it knowing the Jewish use it anyways. Let's go to it. Matthew, what is it, 23? Matthew 23 and 5. Yeah. Let's go into these borders. These fringes. Why these brothers feel like the bigger they fringes are, the more powerful it is. Let's go into it. Let's go into it. We gonna hear what Yeshua say. See, this is how we know this is prophecy. Because Yeshua spoke about these brothers. See, these brothers was doing that then, and they doing it now. There's nothing new under the sun. You know, it's in Ecclesiastes. Then Yeshua spake to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their words. For they say and do not. This is what these leaders do. They say and they do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders. Get them hard tasks they know that men can't do. Oh, you got to do this, brother. Where your friends is at, brother? Knowing the brother don't got enough money to have friends on every day. Knowing the fringes is just to remember the law. But if you remember the law, there's the Most High to put us in a situation where we're going to have to remember the law. Let's continue to read. It says, it says they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do are for to be seen of men. This is what these camps is doing. This is the main scripture for these camps, man. Matthew 23 and 5. They out there to be seen, man. They out there thinking they're on the highways and byways. You embarrassing us. I appreciate the brothers who got out there with the heart and didn't even know they was living in a lie. See, that's a test from the Most High to see if you will go against the world. But once you study to show that self-approval, you got to step back and say, hey, man, hold up. Something ain't right with this, man. Something ain't right with this. This don't add up. I brought this to the brother start acting funny. I still ain't got my answer on this. My wife still ain't got her answer on that. And the Most High ain't confusion. We already know who worked with confusion. That's the devil. It says, for all their works that they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. Let me read that again. It says, They enlarged the borders of their garments. Now you see why them brothers out there looking like Chief Dummy. Chief Dummy, that's who they looking like out there. The ultimate warrior. Then they'll try to go. I just seen a Hebrew the other day on Facebook, and they trying to go back and show some medieval warrior to my see, look, he has fringes, no blue border on it. Just tassels, fringes, trying to connect fringes and tassels in every civilization to the Israelites when this was just a normal dress code for people. A normal style for people, no different than blue jeans and a white tee. Let's continue to read. And they loved the uppermost rooms at the feast, in the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the market, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi, Master, Master, General, General. Oh, that's the Reverend, that's the preacher. This is what they like to be called when they in the stores. They like the uppermost rooms in the hotels and then the chief seats in the feast places. That's why they do it, to be seen by men. And they'll kill you for it. But I'll kill you for this truth too. I feel the same way. It says, but be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and ye all are brethren. Call no man master. It says, call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father, which is in heaven. I ain't calling none of y'all father in these Catholic churches. Father this, that, and the third. Man, see, these is all against the scriptures, man. How can somebody say they utter scriptures and they go straight against it? To tell you right in Matthew not to do it, not to call nobody rabbi. So why is they calling themselves rabbis? It tell people not to call nobody master. So why are people calling people master? Tell you not to call nobody father. They don't say not to call your father, but don't call another man who ain't birthed you father, who ain't the father of the earth, the stars, the planet, and the earth, and everything else. It says, neither be ye called master, for one is your master, even Christ, but he is that is the greatest among you, shall be your servant. See, I said this all the time. He says, let's read that again. But he that is the greatest among you shall be your servant. They said a king is the greatest servant. See, people want to be king. They want to sit up and receive all of the luxuries of being king, but they ain't willing to serve nobody else. They ain't willing to get down and dirty. They ain't willing to be the janitor, but they want to be the CEO. See, Yeshua, he played that. He played the boss. He came down here. He lived in flesh. See, he was already with the Most High, living in luxury. See, this is what he do. It's all through the scriptures. Y'all can't see it? With Moses coming from the uppermost parts of Egypt to come down with his brothers and sisters after he was tired of seeing them being done wrong. You can't see us coming up from the bottom, being the greatest nation. How brothers come up from the bottom out the projects to living in $1 million home off of his talent the Most High gave him, God-given talent. They call it God-given for a reason because they don't know where else it comes from. It's not given to everybody else. If it was given to everybody else, then that wouldn't be God-given. Everybody got their gifts. But the Most High takes people from the bottom and raises them up. He give them a taste of the top, then they come down to humility. To help the poor, to help the lost. This is what these camp leaders, they not gonna do. These generals ain't gonna bust a grape. Sergeants, bishops, all of this, man, is BS. This is why they do it, to be seen by men and to have the chief places in the feast, to be called master in the market, to be praised. Like the scripture said, they're trying to take the seat of Moses with this priesthood, but this is why Yeshua came and killed the priesthood. This is why he came and took away the churches, but it's a church on every corner. When his message was to take them down, when he said, my words won't be preached inside walls made by the hands of men, this is why all his lessons was mostly outside. Joe said his maker killed him for uplifting man. They want it. What's up, OG? What's up, Pop? They want to kill. Man, they want to kill us, man. You already know. They want to take us. And any brother they see rising up to take their chief positions, they gonna try to blackmail them. They gonna try to get them up out of there. It's bad enough we gotta fight the enemy, but then we got enemies amongst our own. We got tares inside the wheat, but they will be bundled up and burnt. What's up, Pop? Yes, sir. Any more? How many minutes, man? We 57 minutes in. Y'all got any more camp lives, man? Let me know, man. We gonna come back, do a part 2. You know, see what it's looking like for this. I'm gonna see if I can pull out any more camp lives before it's all over with. Okay, we're gonna read this. Acts 13 and 47. Yeah, Joy Morgan, man. They didn't do nothing about that. They collecting money for Joy. Nate collecting money for Joy Morgan. I doubt that money going to her family. Do they say it's one like Gino? I don't know who Gino Jenkins is, but let me read this though. This for all of the Hebrews who, when they see a Gentile, the so-called Edomites, they say walking down the block, and they feel like they want to attack them instead of be the light for them. Everybody ain't gonna accept it. It's gonna be majority wicked in the Chinese race, majority wicked in the black race, majority wicked in the white race, majority wicked in the African race. The Most High ain't taking a lot of people out of these nations, but everybody got this attitude that we all need to get along. We all need to come together. That ain't gonna never happen. Because there's too many people who ain't willing to give up their houses, their positions, their cars, their money, their bank account. They ain't willing to give their own life away. So it'll never happen. Too many cowards. This is Acts 13 and 47. For so hath the Lord commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light of the Gentiles, that thou shouldest be for salvation unto the ends of the earth. And when the Gentile heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of the Lord. And as many as were ordained to eternal life believed. And the word of the Lord published through all regions. But the Jews stirred up the devout and honorable woman and the chief men of the city and raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coast. See, that's what these camps do. They don't want salvation for the Gentiles. I understand salvation is for the Jews, but the Most High gave us the word so we could spread it to the ends of the earth so everybody can have a chance to love the true and living God. And that's what you do when you tell them they can't come in to these congregations. When you tell them, the Gentiles, they can't come in the congregation. When the priesthood is done, we with the order of Melchizedek, and you can't say that right now. Till the Most High come back and assemble everything, if they want to love the Most High, let them love the Most High. You can't get mad because they Chinese and they love the Most High. You can't get mad because they're a Gentile and they love the Most High. You don't know who Edom is, just like you don't know who Jacob is. We can only tell by the Spirit. You can't look at an Israelite and say, yeah, you an Israelite. You can, but till they tell you, yeah, my father is white, my mother is black, then what you gonna say? Oh, dang, man, I thought you was black. You can't tell somebody they white until they tell you, yeah, my father's black. But dang, I thought you was white. See, that's the illusion of color. That's the illusion of skin color. They thinking Esau gonna be identified through skin color, when Esau is gonna be identified through his spirit, because his spirit is of a Gentile, of a barbarian. Somebody would know, somebody who hasn't been taught the civilizations of life, haven't been civilized yet. You said there are two Gentiles like the Jews that didn't grow up on the Torah. Yeah, I went over that. We got the Gentiles who are actually the real Gentiles from Japheth. Then you have the Gentiles who lived in other lands and lived as Gentiles and thought they were Gentiles. You still have people to this day who go to church every day, who think they're Gentiles, don't even know they're the chosen people of the Most High. Still live their life and serve the Most High as a Gentile. Like I said earlier, man, a lot of these camps, man, a lot of these leaders, man, they pay agents. You know what I'm saying? They've been hired to cause diversion and never allow brothers to come to the full truth. Long as this 12 tribe chart still exists, man, they can continue to mislead people. Long as people want to have this churchy feeling and want to have them a pastor, a preacher, or a general, or some type of man to lead them instead of reading the scriptures, some type of man to give them clarification of the scriptures instead of them study to show they self-approved. These things going to continue to happen. People going to continue to get hurt who go into these camps, who open themselves up spiritually to believe these people and these men, and they go and it's going to continue to get worse. You're going to continue to see so-called Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, this is why. Yeah, that's why Abraham, you know, and Sarah had to come together. They both was Hebrews. It ain't right, you know what I'm saying, fully unless y'all both Hebrews. This is a lot. Then you find out a lot of these camp leaders have Gentile wives, Mexican wives, white wives, Chinese wives. So they follow Abba Bivens' chart. You know, you can look it up. Is the 12 tribe chart fake? You got an old brother named Nefertali who was right there when they made the chart. He said that wasn't right. And he said, hey, he knew, but it was going to get people to come in. Well, you believe Esau is... No, I don't believe Esau is white. I already went over that. I already went over who the white man is. We already went through Joel 3. Y'all going to have to go back and listen to the video. We already went over Joel 3 and proved that it was the Romans and the Grecians that took us into captivity over to America. It was not Esau. Esau watched us be took over to America. If you read Obadiah, Esau stood and watched us be took. So Esau can't be the person taking us to America, beating us and enslaving us when he's the person watching us being took. The 12 tribe chart is fake. We're going to go to Isaiah 11:11 one more time. I'm going to read. And there shall come, Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush, which is Ethiopia, and from Elam, which is the Middle East, and Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up in a Zion for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and shall gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. From the four corners of the earth. Like I said before, the main lie out there is these brothers with these 12 tribe charts. The main lies out here is these brothers feeling like, you know what I'm saying, these camps telling people that every white man that walk past is an Edomite. When he like, what are you talking about? I'm from Russia. What are you talking about? I'm from Ireland. He wasn't even around the biblical land. Wasn't even around Europe, Rome, or the Middle East to even be a part of that history. I just read where the Most High, Yeshua, the Most High son Yeshua, is coming the second time to grab his people up from Assyria and from Egypt, places that's not on the 12 tribe chart. From Cush, we all know what Cush is. We knew what Cush was before you was awoken. The place of civilization in Africa, aka that's Ethiopia, that's Nubia. These is places the Most High say he's coming to gather his people. I just did a video probably a month or so back over the Hebrew Israelites in Ethiopia, the Falasha Hebrews. So it's over with. They got this tribe. This tribe only covers the Western Hemisphere of the world. Like I said earlier, I think a lot of people need to take geography classes because they can't see this chart is only on the Western Hemisphere of the earth. It's not covering the four corners of the earth. It's not real. The only thing real is these Negro Mexicans, these Negro Puerto Ricans, these Negro Brazilians and Argentinians. These brothers is really Hebrews and really, Israelites who's been taken on slave ships to South America. But do we know what tribe they are in? No, we don't. I feel like it's the Power Ranger effect when the brother just want to hop into a crew. Yeah, I'm Ephraim. Yeah, I'm Naphtali. Yeah, I'm Levi. How are you Levi? The Levitical priesthood is dead. But they'll really tell you they're Levi priest though. Because I'm from Haiti. And they practice voodoo. So, I'm a Levi priest. It doesn't make sense, man. Knock it off. Issachar is the Mexicans, but Issachar and Judah come from the same mother and father. One is an African American and one is a Mexican. But they got the same mom and daddy. No, somebody lying, bro. Somebody was creeping. That's what you want me to believe? So, yeah, only Negro descent. You know your brothers and your family when you see them. I can't see nothing in the Caucasian man from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia that looks like me. When Esau come from Mount Seir in Saudi Arabia. But they'll tell you Esau come from the Caucasus Mountains. See, this is all about people being uneducated in geography, uneducated in studying to show themselves approved, people not having the apocrypha. They go and read Esdras and say, dang, they was going across a river. They ain't even talk about them going through no sea. But then how you believe they took this long journey around Africa? See, but you don't know that the lands was connected and before the days of Peleg, the whole earth was together called Pangea. So it's easy to travel around the earth when it's all together. But when you thinking there's these big seas between the earth and between the land, and it's hard for a black man to get to America and have some African culture within the Americas. It's hard to have African culture within China and Europe and all these places around the world. See, we already went around the world and ruled. That's why we at the bottom right now, because we lost our power. That's why the Egyptians have no power, the Ethiopians have no power, or the Israelites don't have no power. Because for one, there's no unity, and for two, we lost our God. We want to live like the Gentiles. That's why it says, go not into the ways of the Gentiles. There can't be no four corners on the ball. So we know the earth is valleys and peaks. There can't be a waterfall on the ball. So, if y'all got any more camp lies I want to throw out them, let me know. I'm finna exit out. There's several other lies I probably ain't even touched on, and I know that. Let's go over one more lie. I went over the book of Obadiah, brother. Let's go over this. Is Cornelius a Gentile lie right fast? It says there was a certain man in Caesarea called, this Acts 10, called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, one who feared God, and all with all his house, and gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. So he saw a vision. See, this is the same vision that the churches, the same vision that Simon seen, the same vision they use to say you can eat pork. See, Cornelius was a Gentile man who dedicated his life to giving alms and gifts and donations to the true people of the Most High, to the point his gifts and his alms reached heaven. And the Most High was going to do something new. He was going to give the Holy Spirit to the Gentile man, to the Gentiles, even though the Gentile people are unclean people. This is why Peter saw unclean foods in his dream. But the Most High said, arise and eat. Peter said, no. Now, you don't tell God no, but Peter told him, no, I haven't eaten anything unclean in my life. He said, whatever I make clean, don't call it unclean. Whatever I make common is common now. So the Most High made this man within a barbaric nation, somebody, a devoted man of Yah. And he wanted him to come among him and to conversate with him, even though it was unlawful for Gentiles and Jews to be coming together. A Gentile, any type of other nation and Jews coming together. This is why when you go in Africa and you watch the Hebrew Israelites and the Jews over there, they're secluded. We're a set apart people. It's not that we feel better and none of that. It's just we know we're a set apart people. We'll do better set apart. This is why we're set apart in Goshen on the outskirts of Egypt. We don't do good in the city. We get caught up in the mess. We need to be on the outskirts where we do best. This is why Abraham lived on the outskirts of Canaan. Let's read. We're going to read the key scripture. Let me know that Cornelius is not the same thing as Peter, which is an Israelite. And Peter was coming, and Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet. This is verse 25. And worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, I myself am also a man. And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were came together. And he said unto him, You know how it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come into one of another nation. But God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying, as soon as it was sent out for. Let's read. Let's read what the Most High was trying to the message the Most High was trying to get out through the story. It says, let's jump up to verse 33. It says, Now therefore are we all here presented before Yah, to hear all things that are commanded thee of Yah. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecters of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. The word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach, he is Lord of all. That word I say ye know, which was published throughout all Judea and began from the Galilee after the baptism which John preached. So the Most High in the respect of persons. The Most High in the respect of the person. So don't think because you a Hebrew or because you from the seed of Abraham, you're going to be saved. Don't think because you a Hebrew by blood and you not righteous in your soul, you're going to be saved. Don't think because they're a Gentile and they do unclean things and they rule the world unruly right now that you could just attack any Gentile you see, because you might run into a Cornelius out there. You might run into a man who really trying to keep it straight out there. A man who really loved Yeshua HaMashiach but calls him Jesus Christ because that's all they knew his name to be since they've been living. They never knew the true name of Yeshua. They never knew the true name of Yahuwah. So it's our job, like I read earlier, to be a light to the Gentiles. Do we got to kick it with them and hang with them and do all that? No, we don't. But it's our job to be the big brothers and to be the light that leads the way to the truth. We can't be the light when we attacking people. We can't be the light when we throwing shade. We can't be the light time out. Get away from me, dirty African. Get away from me, Gentile. That ain't the lick. That ain't what the Most High asked. He asked us to be a light from each end of the earth so everybody can have a chance to serve him. But it's through us. It's through the Israelites. This is why these churches fail. This is why the religious system of the world fails, because they refuse to put the key ingredient in the spiritual religion of the world, and that's us. The true Jews, the true Israelites, the true people of God who leads the way through the spirituality in the belief system in this world. And since we're on the bottom, in jails, in prisons, and lost, therefore God is lost in this world. And that's why God don't lie in these camps and these Christian churches and anywhere else, because they're following traditions of men, doctrines of men that misleads men and don't get them nowhere close to the Most High. This is why people leave the Israelite camps, and this is why people hate the Israelite camps and never look back. But the brothers who caused them to feel that way and to mislead them, the Most High, they blood on your hands. The Most High gonna deal with you for that, for misleading and handling wrong his sheep. I'm Base Jerusalem. This is the Hebrew Life. Shalom, family. Shalom. We out there.